And of course, in one of the videos, just for like 10 seconds, I'm filming myself holding the workpiece with my feet in sandals and toe socks while I'm running an angle grinder. So I thought, maybe I should save this clip for some special edition.
Might be quite nice. I might give it a go.
Yeah, try sanding with your foot next time
What?
on the lathe. That could get you some views.
Sounds like it's just going to make me ache.
I mean,
It's worth it.
Is that a very specific way to make something on the lathe, or is it a very efficient way of shaving or filing your nails?
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
What kind of grit does your heels have? Are you 40 grit?
I'm not quite sure how you'd get your foot on there without breaking your toes. It kind of spins towards you, so it's like that coming at you.
Yeah, you need to reverse it, or you could lay on your stomach and then balance your feet up. Yeah, it's a yoga pose for sure, but I think it's doable. Yeah,
Just straddle the lathe, so you sit with one leg on each side.
yeah.
I can't see that going wrong.
Just make sure you have enough battery and your camera running.
With on the high speed, yeah, for the lathe as well.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, there is no point in low revolutions. No.
You don't want the high torque, you want the fast speed.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 82 of the No.1 Crude Mistakes podcast with Haavard from Behind the Mistakes, Glenn from No.1 Projects, and me, K.J. from Crude but Efficient, who is not the Swede who won £100 million on Eurojackpot the other week. Sadly enough.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've checked my bank account plenty of times. The fact that I don't play Eurojackpot it's a giveaway as well, I think.
You have been awfully quiet this week.
Yeah, I know. It could have been. Yeah, it could have
You've
been
just been planning, haven't you and Sophie? Where we're going to live, what we're going to buy.
No. Sadly or luckily, a bit of both, I guess, because getting that much money is a hassle as well.
It'd be worth trying that hassle out, though, wouldn't
it? you think so?
I'd quite like to give it a go.
You're willing to try it?
Yeah.
Take one for the team.
I'm open-minded. I'll try anything once, and I'll give that a
go. Yeah, we're so open-spirited and free here. Yeah. So, how's your week been, guys? Glenn?
Yeah, all right. Not much making done, but it's been a nice week.
What have you been doing then?
I've been helping the family out a little at Shell's mum's house, just doing a bit of chainsawing, a bit of tidying up and whatnot.
So you're doing your day job at off hours as well?
A little bit, yeah. But I've tried to make it more fun by balancing on a roller and chainsawing at the same time.
Yeah, that was kind of a circus act you were pulling there.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, do you have like this leather what's it called? These evening courses on clown school? Yeah, balancing with a chainsaw on a log. Yeah.
I feel like I'm on clown school every time I talk to you two guys.
Oh, yes.
I didn't expect, it's an old roller, and I didn't expect it to be quite as mobile as it was. And I climbed on it and really had to keep my balance. And then I had to get Shell's brother to hold it while I actually did the chainsawing.
But why?
Yeah. The worst thing that happened was when I was climbing back down off the roller, I split my shorts right up the groin.
Well, all things considered, that was probably the best thing to split.
Yeah. And when that happens, the first thing you do is, am I wearing tight underwear today? Is everything still in place? And it was. You'd be glad to know. Happy to report that for you.
It wasn't laundry day.
Good. It wasn't laundry day.
Good.
Good to know.
Yeah, making wise, the only thing I've made is a bookmark for myself. So
I didn't know you were literate.
I've not read a book in years, KJ. And I bought one. I I thought, I need a bookmark to actually put off starting reading the book. I had to go and make myself a bookmark.
Well, you can't remember where you are in the book if you don't have a bookmark. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, good
I
thinking.
actually made 2 bookmarks the other week when it was Mother's Day here for Michelle and Michelle's mum. And it's basically just a very, very thin strip of wood, only about, 70 mil long. And then it's 4 mil thick. And I cut straight down the thick to make it the centre of it to make it 2 mil thick on either side, but like a peg, if you like, so it's still joined at the top.
Oh,
That
okay,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And I made 2 in like 20 minutes the other day for them 2, and then went in the workshop on Sunday, and I could not get that cut straight. It took me 5 attempts and probably about an hour and a half later. The simplest build. Yeah, but that's all I've done maker-wise. What about you, KJ?
It's good to actually say who in the rather for you are addressing. Yes, I have been. Sorry, I have been a bit poorly. I still am, maybe a little. You might hear it on my voice. But I have started my next project, and I'm almost finished with it because it's a rather quick one, and I'm having quite a bit of fun with it as well. So that's nice. Something that I'm actually enjoying, and I'm looking forward to editing. I've actually started editing already, that sort of thing. So that's fun to have something a bit easier than the monstrous last project that just spanned on and on and on.
So is this your sewing project?
Yes, this is a sewing project.
Do we get to know a little bit more about it now?
If you want to.
I would like to. Yes, please.
Of course.
Yes, this is a kind of stupid idea, but still kind of works.
The best ones.
Yeah, sometimes.
Good
sometimes.
company here.
I don't know if this one is. Yeah, it's resewing a T-shirt into a tote bag.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I mentioned on the pod that I rescued 2 T-shirts from Skaparfestivalen.
Yes.
And those were size medium. I am almost size medium on the width-wise, but not on length-wise. So I don't really have use for them. So I thought, you could do something else with this. So I came up with just more or less sewing it shut and making the armholes and neck, cutting those up a bit and making handles out of it.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, it's not going to be it's not a bag to do a heavy grocery shopping for, because a T-shirt is mostly a rather thin material and kind of stretchy. So it's more for buying crisps than apples, if you say so.
I prefer crisps to apples. It sounds like
most people do. So I think it's
But I also like alcohol, and that's quite heavy. So
yes, it's not one to go down and buying too much booze.
Why are they called totes bags? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Is it because the tote's awesome? Or
what is a tote?
It's short for totally, isn't it?
It could be. It could also be something else, I guess. Because you call them tote bags.
Yeah,
don't you?
Yeah.
You don't have a different word for them, just fabric bags.
No, they're all called tote bags. I just call them bags. I don't like to be specific and judge and whatnot.
Just calling them the old bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it might be the short of totally, but
Seems unlikely.
They've been called tote bags as long as I can remember, even before Gen Z started coining shortening words to be cool. So, yeah.
Isn't totes to move something around? I'm just talking out of my ass here.
Should we pause and Google it?
Oh, it's more fun to speculate.
Yeah, we can put in some jazzy background music here while we're Googling it, and then have a tote bag special.
Put in a visual loading screen, or a audible loading screen.
Yeah, a rotating tote GIF. Yeah,
Just imagine that in your mind, dear listener.
yeah. Well, let this spin for a good 20 seconds here while tech support Glenn is googling
Ah,
what toad. Oh, we have an answer.
a tote bag is called that because the word tote means to carry.
Oh, yeah,
I kind of wished I'd not Googled it now.
yeah. I told you it's not as fun as
Yeah.
just making shit up.
I mean, it doesn't. It's fun, but does it work as a verb? Like, come on, tote that thing over here. It doesn't really
Yeah.
ring very well.
I'm going to use tote instead of carry all the time now.
I'm gonna tote this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not, but
I am
I learned
fed up of
another.
I'm fed up of toting this podcast.
Who is toting who?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it
I'm
does
totes not.
it does mosey along in a boring tempo sometimes. Yeah, I totally agree. That's tote is the kind of word that you learn the meaning of and you just adapt it. Like I learned a few years ago what mosey means.
Yeah.
And after that, I've used it a lot. I'm just gonna mosey around, look at stuff, or yeah.
I do
Now
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
be
mosing.
now I'm gonna be toting and mosing. I'm gonna be mosing around, toting my emotional luggage.
Toting your own horn. Yeah.
Your own hole.
Oh, just gonna pop around the corner, toting my own horn, relieving the. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, we're maybe not there yet. So, over, how's your week been?
Ooh. Where should I start?
At the beginning.
I
If you
start
don't have a good cliffhanger thing in the middle, of course.
Yeah. My week started not on Monday, but I would say it started on Sunday. Um, we went to my sister's family for a birthday party, and that was brilliant. The kids played well and everything, and in the afternoon we had to head back home. It's a 2 hour drive with kids. And roughly midway, we stopped at Burger King for dinner, so we don't have to think about that when we came back home late. So luckily, we had dinner and we were full and relaxed. And then we got into the car to go home and started it up, and it just said EPC in big bold letters. And no matter how hard I pressed throttle, it would just inch over to the side. Luckily, it didn't happen on the motorway. So yeah, the car, we needed to call roadside assistance. The kids were in heaven because they got to ride on top of a lorry. And they dropped us off at a workshop, and then we had to walk over to the train station, take the train. We had to have my wife's aunt meet us. We need to borrow her car for a week. And today the garage called and I figured out what was wrong. And of course, it's the throttle control unit, whatever, and that is £1,000. And she also had her car at the garage last week, and we were waiting for some part for that as well. And the garage said, well, it is, they would maybe not recommend it. It is, I mean, you can get the same car for that price. And of course, it's a bit rattly, so other things might happen. So the long-term goal was to just fix it, get it through the biannual MOT, and then run it for 2 years while we were looking for getting a other car. That might now happen sooner than later.
How
So it's
far
been
is
a
how far is the lathe and laser pushback now?
oh, I need to specify that this was my wife's car, so
Okay.
that is not impacting my lathe budget. But still, I'm gonna have my car at the garage next week. So yeah, the lathe is not happening anytime soon. But it's been it's been a week. I mean, when you're used to having two cars and you live in a place where that is beneficial, and now my car, I'm trying to use it not as much because it's fuming oil, and then we borrowed a car, so it kind of messes with your daily routine. So I've been having home office, which is nice, and of course I have my last day before I'm taking Easter holiday tomorrow, but I've been in meetings all day and people ask questions, and I'm really stressing to just get my ducks in a row so I can take the vacation. And of course, I plan every day that all right, I'll get the kids to bed and then I'll put in a few hours just to get ahead. But then I find myself in the workshop. Just I'm just gonna, and then it's late in the evening. I need to go to bed. So I've actually got some making done this week. I am just putting some oil on the table away from completing it. So yesterday I made a tensioning system for the leather that's going on top. I was very pleased about that. It's we talked about it in the last episode. It's a boring build. It's a boring table, and now I got to cut some metal and drill holes and tap them and put in some threaded rod and make a complicated system of tensioning a leather piece on top of it. So it just became interesting. So I just
Nice.
need some mechanical things to it. So yeah, so yesterday I did that, and I figured out I'll do the oil tomorrow. So I just sat down, took all the video I've filmed so far, put that into DaVinci, and realized I have 4 hours plus of footage.
Of
Of
course you
course
do.
you
Uh,
have.
yeah, of course I have. And then of course, I started this build last year, so fuck continuity. I had long hair, and it was summer when I started, and then it's winter and dark outside while I do stuff inside, and yeah, so I'm gonna cut it down this week to. It's gonna be a short video. I'm not gonna drag this out. I think it's boring as well. So that is my making. I'm gonna put some oil on some wood, and then I'm gonna be editing, which is a bit
Nice.
boring.
That's quite nice to get editing though. At least you know you're going to get a video out. Always makes me feel better.
Yeah, and you're also
Yeah.
done with a project. That is nice.
Yeah. And you like the finished article, don't you? You like the table.
Yeah, it turns out very good. And I realized something that for I'm not sure if it's that popular anymore, but for like 10, 15 years ago, these I mean, I guess it's a part of that pallet wood movement, but in Norway you have driftwood along the coastline, and people just use that grayish old battered wood and made
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of interior decorating stuff with it. And I felt it was kind of quiche, if that's the right word to use. It wasn't really my thing. But now I made a table that I made it from scratch. I cut down the wood, I welded the frame, and then I rusted it to look old. So it's brand new, but it looks 50 years old and battered. And I think it kind of looks good, but it's also nice to just do a project like yesterday. Just gonna sand off some pencil mark on the table, and like, all right, standing there for 5 minutes with the orbital sander, and I get bored easily. And then like, yeah, I'll just quit here because if I do this too nice, then it will be nicer than the legs, and it won't look. And
Yeah.
I realized making projects that look like they're old and battered, that is really nice because you don't have to. I mean, if the grains doesn't match and if it's cracked there, you don't have to cut and glue it and make it sand or hide anything because it's gonna look like it's used and people bumped into it and
Yeah.
the kids carved in the top with a pencil and whatnot. So yeah, I've already tried it and spilled coffee, so it had like a big coffee stain on it. So I just gave that a light sanding, but no, this is character. I'm just gonna leave it in, and of course I'm gonna have the leather over that. So, but yeah, So maybe I should do that. Like, just
Yeah.
half-ass things.
I mean, the only problem there is if you have something with a nice patina that, as you said, you can't really do anything with it. I mean, it's whether you if you restore a tool or something like that and just leave much of the patina on it, and okay, I want to sand down this part, and then you have a shiny spot, and then you have to sand some more and some more, and then all of a sudden you're standing there with a refinished everything. So you have to be careful with what you do with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. I mean, it's proper made. It's massive oak, and of course the legs are metal, so that can't really go wrong. And it it would have been so fun that if somehow how it was built is forgotten, and then my kids or grandkids or whatever just, oh, that's grandpa's old table and it looks really rusted and knackered, and they give it a total makeover, they buff it down and shine it everything, and it's like, I never did that when it was new, but they don't know that, so I just go all restoration on it.
We have a show here called the Repair Shop, and people take family heirlooms in which are knackered basically, and they get a full refurbishment. It'd be great if in 50 odd years it ends up on something like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then someone stumbles across the original YouTube video. It's not supposed to look new.
Or you can just do it yourself and have a second video out of it. Restore your own project.
Yeah. My wife said this didn't look new enough.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Of course, we bought a new table before Christmas last year, and we still haven't broken it in, so to say. So I'm still like chasing the kids. No, don't do that. Don't do it on the table. You scratch and ding it. And of course, it's nice to have a table that's already got that initial ding, so you're not afraid of it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a thing, and I realized that if you're making something, just it's very enjoyable getting it to that 80%, but the last 20% is a pain in the ass. But just drop it. I remember I saw it's the same show in the United States for a few years back called Rick's Restorations or something like that. It's a self-taught guy and his son just restoring pieces for people, old just coin games and old kids' tricycles and whatnot, and just make them like they were new in the 50s.
Nice.
But it is really nice to see someone have that craft. They can take just about anything and then make it look like new again. But that last bit from taking it from just, yeah, it's okay, until it's like it's so brand new, like I'm never gonna have the patience to put in that effort in anything ever.
It's all right if you can buff it up on a machine, and it's when you get to those little intricate parts that have to be done by hand, it's like, no, screw that. I preferred it when it was old.
Yeah, you see someone in a video. Yeah, I've been hand sanding for 8 hours. What is wrong with you?
Like you making that mallet, KJ, on one of your early videos.
Yeah, that was a lot of sanding, but it was not that amount.
It looked like it.
Yeah.
And talking about tedious, I got an idea for a video this week, reading one of my kids' books. And I think it would be a really nice video. And it's going to be a really nice short video, but the time making it is going to be cruel. And the premise of the book is it's a girl, and her father is an author drawer. And of course, she gets a pencil, and father says that in this pencil is everything that you can imagine. And then, of course, the whole book is she makes drawings and stories around it. And then I think at the very end of the book, she just summarized everything she's drawn, and like, who could have thought that all this was in a pencil? And that got me thinking, have I ever used an entire pencil ever? No, I get a new one, and either you displace it somewhere, or you chew on it, or you drop it to the floor so it breaks. So even if you try to sharpen it, it just keeps shattering. So you throw it away. So then I thought, should I just buy myself a new pencil? And the catch of the video could be like, how much is in a pencil? And then I have to make like a big roll of paper, like they have. I have a roll of like craft paper, and I just start at one end and drawing, writing, whatever until there's just nothing left, and see how much did I get out of it. And that would have been a fun video to do, but then drawing all that crap for weeks at end. Uh, of course, I could do it over several years, just have a roll of paper, and then every now and then just draw something, but then it would take like forever.
I'm not sure how you would make that video interesting to watch. It's a nice premise.
That's the thing, though. It's almost like it should only be a short, right? Because
Yeah.
you have that intro, and then you need the world's fastest time lapse, just shoop through all the drawings,
Yeah.
and then ta-da, and that's it. And then you could maybe at the end on the extended version, you could just slowly roll the paper under the camera so you could actually freeze and look at, but nobody would be interested in a long version of that. So
It could be a nice. You do a drawing every day, a very pencil heavy drawing, so you use up a lot of graphite, and then take a picture of the thing you've drawn with a pen on it, so you see that the pen is growing shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter with every image. But I mean, this is something for like 3 years, perhaps. So
yeah,
it's quite a stamina to actually pull that off. It's a lot easier to fake it.
and then of course it's the I like the tip to be very sharp. So once they go blunt, I just sharpen them. And if you take the cross section of the graphite, and if you keep sharpening it, you're just drawing with the very, very center of it. So I'm
Yep.
guessing 90% of the graphite is just shaved off.
Yep.
And then, of course, if you're going to maximize everything, you should just have it blunt, basically, enough that it draws so you can use up all the graphite. So it's
Plenty of shading then.
Yeah, a lot of shading.
yeah, and that could be quick, right?
Yeah.
It's a Black Panther in the night. It's just a big black canvas. I can use up a pencil in an hour.
I think you should just
Chuck
connect
it
it
in
to
the
your
drill.
CNC. Let the CNC draw away with it.
You know, now we're talking.
Yeah.
You need to. Now it's a completely different video, of course, because you need a pencil sharpener somewhere, and then something to draw, and you program it to draw, and then every like 10 minutes it has to go back to the pencil sharpener and go down 10 steps and then rotate for 10 times and go back again, and you have to like increase the depth every time. Yeah,
Do you think you could do that?
that would have been cool. And then you could make, I mean, if I had a lot more time and I were going to make a central, that could be something you make to hand out, right? You just buy 100 cheap wooden coasters, and that you just have the CNC draw your logo on them. And you just like, I used an entire pencil and I got a billion coasters out of it.
How much of the graphite is used, or do you have it so it pushes the same amount? So the beginning of each drawing episode is a lot. You're almost into the wood, and then the last parts you're barely touching it.
You could have it just on a very lightly spring loaded, couldn't you?
Yeah, that was I thought with
Yeah.
the pencil sharpener, if that was spring loaded, so you would not have to be very accurate in how steep down you go and so on, so you don't break anything.
Yeah.
But that, of course, like let's say you have like a tube of Yeah, like a Pringles can with Pringles. Could have, but yeah. And then it's spring loaded, so it draws on the first one, and once it's finished, it just moves over and then pushes that off, and then a new one pops up and it repeats itself. So you could automate that process. So
You could start off with the Simpsons intro and have it doing Bart Simpson's lines.
yeah, all the episodes.
What is it Howard should write 100 times so he remembers it and doesn't do it in the future?
Having a CNC doesn't make you happy.
But a 3D printer goes a long way,
Yeah,
and a lathe would complete it.
yeah. That's the thing, though. Maybe I should never get a lathe, because it's like,
What were you
what
researching
you
for
give the
next?
man that has everything. I mean, he's just going to be depressed and miserable. So yeah, I need that unobtainium dangling way ahead there.
I wouldn't get a lathe if I were you. The crap.
Oh, no, me neither. sounds like too much of a hassle.
Yeah, it's just an old man thing, isn't it?
It is, and I'm not quite there yet. I'm just young and in my prime.
I had confirmation that I'm old today.
You need confirmation, okay?
I had a letter through from the NHS telling me they were going to send me a bowel cancer screening kit through the post in the next couple of weeks. So that's something to look forward to.
Oh, yeah, that's
Well,
content.
that sounds like fun.
Can't imagine what that involves.
It's probably just a pill or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just some color charts with some dots on it, and just identify the thing that looks like a peacock or whatever.
I think your accent pronounced it right then. Colour charts.
Yeah.
Shit on this piece of paper and see what happens.
Yeah, then you get this strip with color, like, yep. No, you should call immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, I just waiting for that. That myself. I don't know what the threshold is, but at some point they say that you should see your doctor once a year, and yeah, I don't feel too bad. So I mean, yeah, it's a bit of cracks here and there and aches, and if I sleep wrong, I'm out for a fortnight, but nothing major.
Yeah.
I was when I turned 40, I got a letter through inviting me along for an MOT basically at the doctor's, and I never went. And when the letter came through today, I thought it was the 10 years on. Let's see if we can get him in this time. But that's not come through yet.
They're sending the check thing to you, so you have to do it yourself instead. They know that you won't leave the house, so
Yeah.
They should have like a makers. You should have a service there. The NHS or the equivalent just drives around, and they do your checkup in your workshop, so you feel comfortable. And they come in and they have a chat, and you talk about tools, and they distract you while they're poking a needle in you and drawing some blood.
It
And
seems like the ideal place, doesn't it, with all those tools in there in case they need anything. You know, if they've forgotten something.
yeah, and usually when I'm in my workshop, they don't have to pull out a needle or anything. I'm fully capable of making myself bleed several times a week in dubious ways. So yeah, it's just a matter of just being there.
So you just have a nurse standing by when something happens.
Yeah.
Yep, I can take that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I thought about it here the other day. Oh, I mean, we talked about it far back. I should maybe go and give blood again, but nope. Got the cut, so can't go in. So yeah, that's not happening anytime soon.
I mean, maybe that is the way to actually get men to do their checkup, because I mean, I don't know how much truth there is to it, but probably a lot that men are worse at checking up things with their bodies. So actually having someone come around and claim that it's checking something else, like doing a inspection of the house or the foundation or the car or something, and just walking around and talking about stuff, and then gently checking, okay, how much can you bend down? Hey, can you hold this for me? And just sneaking in a medical check in
I'm going to
something
be
else.
I'm going to be wary of the guy that's asking me how far I can bend down.
I mean, you're
and
just
when,
you're
and when
just
you get
holding.
down when you get down low enough, it's those words while you're down there.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you're just helping out. You're holding this
You're
measuring
gonna
tape
feel
or
a
something
slight
like that.
squeeze.
It might be weird when they're asking you to cough while we're measuring the foundations, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think you could work it in some way.
But that being said, though, and it's a brilliant thing that they do in the blood bank here in Norway, is that you get gifts when you go there. You don't get paid or anything, but you get to choose. And at some point, they started giving away these mummy or moomin cups. And of course, those are collector's items, and we have a lot of them. So that's why I started, basically, because my wife went and then she brought home a cup every time. Um, but then I thought, I mean, yes, I like it because I like those cups, but that's not everybody's cup of tea. um, but what if they had it? It doesn't need to be any major, but like if you as a man go in and you give blood, and then you get to choose. All right, we have a small kit of torques, or some bits or some
Oh
screws,
yeah.
some small tools. And I mean, every 10th time you get a power tool or something of your choosing, and they have a cabinet. I mean, if you just strike a deal with some tool companies, then I think people would give blood happily. I mean, if I could get tools.
I think they could incentivize you further by giving you a token towards tools each
Yeah.
time you go.
Yeah, okay, first
Yeah.
time, yeah, you can get this screwdriver, or if you collect 10 of them, you get this orbital sander.
Yeah.
And if you get 100, you get a Festool track saw.
Yeah. Take twice
People
the
will be
amount.
asking you, I mean, you look pale, dude. It seems like you're almost out of blood. Yeah. I'm just too.
Yeah.
You're like a drug addict, right?
I just got this
With
fake
all the
ID,
hands
so I
with the
can
needle.
leave blood twice this week.
Yeah, needle marks and everything. So people, I mean, if you sit down in a park bench, people will walk big circles around you because you look like a druggie. Like,
Win-win.
I just want the domino.
I'd give all my blood away for a decent track, so I'd love one.
I think it's frowned upon to give all of your blood away.
Do you really need it?
Yeah.
I think I gave away just over my total volume over a couple of years, of course, when I donated blood. But then my blood values went to shit about the same time as we got kids. So I guess it's some kind of stress thing with that, because I was rather close to the limit of if I were allowed to donate blood or not. But then they didn't want me anymore because they thought I might die if I did it, perhaps.
That's a question, though. Of course, they have a time limit. So once you give, and it's roughly half a liter, and then you have to wait for a couple of months before you go back. So it fills up naturally, which is good. But then again, if I give away half a liter, it's kinda a big percentage of your blood in circulation, or whatever it's called. And I feel fine. Does that mean I don't really need all the blood that I do have? So why do I go carrying around all this extra blood if I function without it? So yeah, how much do you really need, and what is basically just a
Well,
surplus you're
the
dragging
day
around?
the day you give blood, you probably wouldn't want to cut yourself severely because you probably need that little bit of reserve to keep you going those few minutes, so they can get some blood reserves back to you.
Yeah,
Don't they?
but at
Yeah,
that
that's
point,
true. I was thinking then
Yeah.
it's just less to bleed out, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
But
see
at
your
that
point.
point, the hospital have exactly your blood type in store.
Yeah.
So it's a really good day to cut yourself.
Oh, that's sad. You're like out for an hour and then you cut yourself and you're going back in. All right, just fill me up again. And oh, unfortunately, this guy was driving a motorcycle and had an accident, so we don't have your blood type. That would have been that would have pissed me off. I mean, yes, it went to someone else, but now I need it back. I
Yeah.
should have dibs.
What blood type is he? Middle-aged ginger man.
Yeah. That's also weird. Why do we all have all these different kinds of blood? And of course, some can give to everyone, but some need that specific one. I mean, what part in evolution did someone decide that that is smart? I mean, what if blood could just be blood? And I'm pretty sure if you ask a doctor, if you take a blood from anyone, it's basically probably in the 95+% water with some bits in it and some red dye. And then, of course, if in that small percentage, then it's significantly enough difference between the blood types that no, if you get that one, you won't survive. So you need that one, and that doesn't make sense to me.
And
It is. Ki-
if you're a rare blood group, would you get more tokens from the hospital towards your tools?
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
My,
I'm one of the rarer ones, and I think most of my blood went to some research and making medicine and that sort of thing.
yeah, that's the thing, though. I mean, my wife have not a super rare kind, but rarer than me, and sometimes she gets like a text message where they send we're running low on this, so if you could come in, then it would be highly appreciated. But she doesn't get any more for it, and of course, my gut reaction is like, how much are you willing to pay? 2 cups, 4 cups? I can come in. Do you pay the taxi or yeah? So
You should get the amount of cups, equivalent to the same volume of blood you get, shouldn't you?
yeah,
Those
that would
movement
be
cups
cool.
are quite small, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, you should get at least 2.5 cups each time. So yeah, that would be a good trade, I think.
Because I mean, you are giving up some stuff to be able to donate blood. I mean, for us, happily married and that sort of thing is not a problem. But if you are sleeping around and that sort of thing, then you can't donate blood. And if you're doing drugs, you can't donate blood, and all those kind of things that you're giving up that some people consider really fun stuff. So I mean, it should pay better.
Yeah. It is fun though, because every time you go and give blood, and I think we touched upon this earlier, there is like a survey with a lot of questions you have to answer, and you have to answer them every time. Like, did you live in the UK between 1990 and 94 or something? Then because they had some crazy cow disease or something, and that means that you're just out of the pool completely. And then if you lived in South Africa for more than 18 months the last 10 years, you're out for some reason. And but it is kind of weird though, because if you're gay, you're not allowed to, or you're allowed today if you're not sexually active for the last 5 years. But I mean, as a married man, I'm at least in the blood giving sense, I'm free to sleep around basically with anything and everyone, and that doesn't matter. So I can percentage or statistically be a larger risk uh, than anyone just happens to be gay. So it doesn't make sense really. And of course, you can lie on the questionnaire. It's just like put down no and you're good to go. But
I
yeah,
think it's this is it doesn't matter if you're gay or not. If you had a new sex partner in the last month or so, then you should wait, either or. But this is I think it's not that long ago that they changed that. But I mean, those questionnaires, if I remember correctly, it's one of those. Do you have this disease? Have you this? And you say no, 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 no. And then they sneak in one that's supposed to be a yes. And they say,
yeah.
It's like they try to fool you.
I mean, it should be just one. Has anything changed since last time? Yes, no, and then if you just press no, then you could just skip all those questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes no sense, and I like to. I'm not sure what it's called in English, but sometimes I like to make myself dumber than I am, if that's even possible. And discussing, and some of the questions are I had to ask this lady, like, what do you mean with that? And yeah, have you? And it was something about some. All right, I'm way out of my depth there, medical wise, but I was arguing that something, as long as you're having sex with your wife, you're actually doing this because, like, semantically speaking, that means this.
Yeah.
And I was way over her head when it came to semantics. So she just glazed over. She did not understand, and I was basically just making a joke. And then we suddenly sat there, and she didn't understand. And of course, when you're making a joke and people don't take the joke, they're like, what is he on about? Is he crazy? And I'm like, yeah, forget about it. And she's like, forget about what? Do I really want to know? And yeah, it was very awkward.
Is this his way of telling me he was in the UK between 1990 and 1994?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that as well. It's really hard for me when something is like a question is written badly, so it can be interpreted in a lot of ways. Then I want to misinterpret it just to make a point that it's wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's a
in
condition we have.
You're pedantic then.
You don't say.
It's like being stopped by the cops and like, did you know how fast you were going? And then you start like, you mean relative to the Earth orbit around its own axis, or in relations to the sun, and you're just digging a bigger hole for yourself.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
That's not going to go well.
Yeah, someone called it truth Tourette's. That's if I know the correct answer, I have to say it, sort of thing. So it's hard sometimes. You have to sit on your hands, so to say.
Yeah. Is that the sitting on your hands? Is that the segue to the half pint?
It could be.
I'm not sure how we'll follow that up, making that make sense, but we'll give it a go, I guess.
When did we ever make sense in a transition? Have we ever lived up to anything we promised? Okay, this is not selling the half pint at all. I realize.
No, it's not. It's like, yeah.
It's basically more of this if you don't know what it is. If you're one of
Or
those,
is it? Maybe you'll have to tune in to find out.
yeah. If you're one of those weird listeners who only listens to the main episode and not a half pint, I mean, it's just more of the same thing. Go on, listen to it on Tuesday as well.
Or not. You're just not missing out. So yeah,
guys, I think you need to stop selling it now. You're not doing a very good job. Bye.
Bye.